Welcome back, guys, to Military Paranormal Time. 66% of you still haven't subscribed. Before we start the video, hit that subscribe button. It only takes a second. Thank you. The Humvee lurched to a stop, and dust exploded around us like a brown fog. I tasted metal on my tongue, burnt fuel, gunpowder residue, something else I couldn't name. November 2004. Fallujah was behind us, the worst of it anyway. Now we ran clearance operations on villages that might be staging grounds. This one was next on the list. My hands still shook sometimes, not from fear, from the memory of trigger pulls that didn't stop until the magazine clicked empty. "Sir," Torres leaned forward from the back seat. "Locals blocking the road." I squinted through the cracked windshield. A crowd stood across the dirt path, women clutching children, men with hollow eyes that had seen too much. An old man stepped forward, gray beard stained with ash, hands raised, palms out. "Spread out," I said. "Mitchell, cover right. Torres, left. Rivas, stay on comms." We dismounted. The desert heat pressed down like a hand on my chest, but I felt cold. Wrong kind of cold. The elder spoke rapid Arabic. His voice cut through the silence, urgent and sharp. Our interpreter, a local contractor named Fahim, went pale. Actually pale, like someone had drained the blood from his face. "What's he saying?" I asked. Fahim swallowed. "He says, Al-Karina lives here, a spirit. She hunts those who..." He stopped, started again. "Those who ignore warnings." I spat into the dirt. Fallujah had taught me one thing: fear is a weapon. Insurgents used it. Planted IEDs in dead dogs, in children's toys, in doorways that looked safe. This was the same. Psychological warfare. "Insurgent scare tactic," I said. "We've got orders, sweep and clear." Fahim backed away. 2 steps, 3. "Sir, I'm not going in there." "That's an order." "No, Corporal Hayes." He shook his head. "You don't understand. My grandmother told me." "I don't care what your grandmother told you." My voice came out harder than I meant. "We lost 95 Marines in Fallujah. Good men. This village could be staging ground for the next attack. We go in. Now." Fahim turned and walked back to his truck. Didn't look back. The elder watched me. His eyes held something I'd seen before, in Fallujah, in the faces of civilians trapped in the crossfire. Not anger, pity. "Let's move," I said. We pushed through the crowd. The villagers parted like water, silent. Not one of them looked at us. They looked past us, through us. Torres brought up the rear with Sadie, our German shepherd. The dog stopped at the threshold, an invisible line where village began. She planted her legs, whined high-pitched. I'd never heard her make that sound. "Come on, girl." Torres pulled the leash. Sadie's claws scraped dirt, leaving deep marks. He dragged her forward by the collar. The moment her paws crossed the line, she started trembling. Full body shakes. "What's wrong with her?" Mitchell asked. "Hell if I know," Torres muttered. We moved deeper into the village. Mud brick houses lined narrow streets, cracked walls, rusted iron gates, date palms casting long shadows. The Euphrates River curved somewhere to the south. I could smell the water, stagnant and old. But something else was wrong. No sound. Fallujah was 70 kilometers east. We should have heard artillery echoes, distant gunfire, helicopter blades cutting air. We heard nothing, not even wind. The village felt vacuum-sealed. I scanned rooftops through my ACOG scope. Empty. Windows dark. No movement. "Too quiet," Mitchell said beside me. He adjusted his M249, sweat beading on his forehead despite the cold. I felt creeping up my spine. Rivas checked her pack. I saw her daughter's photo tucked in her helmet band. Little girl, maybe 6 years old, gap-toothed smile. Birthday in 2 weeks. Rivas would miss it. Again, dusk hit fast. One moment the sky was orange. The next, it bled purple. Then, the birds left. A black cloud erupted from the palm trees. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands. They fled west in panicked formation, wings beating in perfect silence. No gunfire had spooked them, no explosion. They just knew. I watched them disappear into the dying light. "Set up in that farmhouse," I said, pointing to a 2-story structure with high ground overlooking the square. "We hold position tonight." Nobody argued, but Sadie wouldn't stop shaking. The farmhouse smelled wrong the second we entered. Not decay. I knew that smell from Fallujah, bodies rotting in 120-degree heat. This was different. Burnt cloth, old fire, like someone had burned fabric and the smell had soaked into the walls. "Clear left," Torres called out. "Clear right," Mitchell echoed. We moved room by room, kitchen with rusted pots, living area with cushions covered in dust. Upstairs bedrooms, empty except for shadows that felt too thick. Rivas set up the radio in the kitchen, antenna extended through a broken window. Mitchell took the second-floor corner room, positioning his SAW to cover the village square below. I claimed the ground floor entry, back against the wall where I could see both the front door and the staircase. Torres tried to bring Sadie inside. She refused, growled at the doorway, ears flat against her skull. He tied her to a post outside, and she immediately stopped growling. Just stood there, staring at the entrance like something invisible blocked it. "She's been off since we crossed the threshold," Torres said. "Probably smells explosives," Mitchell offered. "Dogs can detect RDX from a mile away." I wanted to believe that. I tried to believe that, but my hands were shaking again. Midnight came fast. I took first watch, sitting on the bottom stair with my rifle across my knees. The burnt cloth smell got stronger. I checked every room again. No fire damage. Walls clean. No source. Cold drafts snaked around my ankles. I looked up. Windows sealed. No gaps in the walls. November desert should have been 60 degrees at night. I could see my breath. "You feel that?" Mitchell called down from upstairs. "Yeah. This place have AC?" I didn't answer. There was no AC. There was no electricity. Rivas checked her watch. 12:07. I glanced at mine. 12:07 a.m. I looked back at her. She tapped the watch face. It stopped. Battery? Digital. Fresh battery. I replaced it 3 days ago. She pulled her backup watch from her pack. Also stopped. 12:07 a.m. exactly. A door slammed upstairs. I was on my feet, rifle raised. Mitchell shouted, "Contact?" "Negative," Torres called back. Door just slammed. I climbed the stairs 2 at a time. Torres stood in the hallway, staring at a closed door. I approached it, touched the handle. Cold. Colder than metal should be. I opened it slowly. Empty bedroom. Cushion on the floor. Cracked mirror on the wall. Nothing else. I stepped back. The door slammed shut in my face. No wind. No hands. Just slammed. "What the hell?" Torres whispered. Mitchell appeared in the hallway, compass in hand. "Look at this." The needle spun. Not magnetic north, just spinning, rotating endlessly without stopping. "Equipment malfunction," I said. "Had to be. Stress. Dehydration. The air pressure here was probably off. Something logical." Then we heard the impact. Downstairs. Kitchen. Glass shattering. We rushed down. Riva stood frozen by the window, staring at the ground outside. A crow lay on the dirt below. Neck snapped, wings still twitching. It had flown straight into the window at full speed. Suicide dive. Mitchell stared. Birds don't do that. They do if they're sick, I said. Disoriented. Disease maybe. But I didn't believe it. Rivas knelt by the radio, adjusting frequencies. Static crackled. Then, faint beneath the noise, a woman's voice, singing in Arabic. Soft, almost a lullaby. You hear that? Rivas whispered. I leaned closer. The voice repeated something. A name. Rivas went rigid. That's my name. She's saying my name. Interference, Mitchell said quickly. Radio bounce. Happens all the time in... The voice stopped. Silence. Then, from somewhere deep in the house, we heard footsteps. Boots on stone, passing by the kitchen doorway. Torres spun, rifle up. Who's there? No one answered. The footsteps continued down the hallway, fading, gone. I checked my watch, still frozen. 12:07 a.m. We leave at dawn, I said. But dawn felt very far away. And outside, Sadie started howling. Sunlight hit the farmhouse like a hammer. I woke with my cheek pressed against cold stone, rifle still in my lap. My neck screamed. My back felt like someone had beaten it with a bat. The attacks had stopped. Just stopped. I stood slowly, joints popping. Torres was already up, staring out the window at the village square. Empty. Silent. Morning light painted everything gold and normal. Nothing, he said. Not a sound all night after the howling stopped. Mitchell came down the stairs, rubbing his eyes. Maybe it was stress, field conditions. We've been running on fumes since Fallujah. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him. Rivas heated an MRE over a chemical pack, steam rising in thin wisps. She scratched her forearm absently. Once. Twice. Kept scratching. You good? I asked. Yeah. She didn't look up. Just itchy. We ate in silence. The burnt cloth smell had faded. The cold drafts were gone. Even the air felt normal. Desert dry, heating up fast as the sun climbed. Maybe Mitchell was right. Dehydration, exhaustion. Our minds playing tricks after 3 weeks of urban warfare. I'd seen Marines lose it before. Hallucinate, hear things that weren't there. The human brain could only take so much. Torres set down his MRE pouch. I'm checking on Sadie. He went outside. I watched through the window as he walked to the post where we'd tied her. He stopped, stood completely still. Then he turned back, face white as chalk. Corporal, he called. Voice flat, dead. You need to see this. I grabbed my rifle and moved fast. Mitchell and Rivas followed. Sadie lay on the ground. Her body was twisted, spine bent backward at an angle that wasn't possible. Legs folded under her at wrong angles, like someone had grabbed her and wrung her out like a wet towel. 12:07 a.m. The sun was directly overhead, heat shimmering off the dirt roads. We sat in the farmhouse kitchen, planning our exit route. Rivas rolled up her sleeve to wipe sweat from her face. I saw them immediately. Small, circular bruises dotted her forearms. Dark purple, fresh. Maybe a dozen of them, clustered like someone had grabbed her hard. Rivas, I said. Your arm. She looked down, frowned. I didn't hit anything. Mitchell leaned closer, examining them. Vitamin deficiency. I've seen it before. Field conditions, dehydration, lack of sunlight. Capillaries burst under the skin. Looks worse than it is. I nodded. That made sense. That was logical. Drink more water, I told her. She reached for her canteen. Then I watched, we all watched as more bruises appeared. Not slowly, instantly. They bloomed beneath her skin like ink dropped in water, spreading in seconds. Arms, neck, collarbone. Dozens of them, multiplying in real time. Mitchell's face went slack. That's not, That doesn't happen. Riva stood, breathing hard. She pulled her sleeve down, but we'd all seen it. What's wrong with me? Torres backed toward the door. It's daytime. This is daytime. You said it only happens at night. The safety window I'd promised them shattered like glass. I had no answer. Mitchell found the drawings in the upstairs bedroom. He came down holding papers, recent, crayon on notebook pages. Children's drawings, stick figure soldiers with X's over their eyes, bodies twisted. A black figure standing over them, female shape, long hair. Arabic words scrawled across the bottom. Can anyone read this? Mitchell's voice shook. Rivas took the papers. Her hands trembled. It says, "She takes the guilty." We stood in silence. Then Rivas's watch beeped. 12:07 p.m. Every clock in the house, analog, digital, my wristwatch, all read the same time. 12:07. Rivas worked the radio, trying to raise anyone. Command. Another patrol. Anyone. Static crackled through the speaker, white noise that set my teeth on edge. Then, beneath it, something else. A woman's voice. Faint. Singing in Arabic. Soft melody, almost a lullaby. The kind a mother would sing to a child before sleep. Rivas froze. You hear that? I leaned closer to the speaker. The voice was clear now, repeating the same phrase over and over. Not static interference. Real. Deliberate. What's she saying? I asked. Rivas's face went pale. My name. She's saying my name. Frequency bounce, Mitchell said quickly. He grabbed the radio, adjusted the dial. Atmospheric conditions can reflect radio waves hundreds of miles. Someone's transmitting. The voice stopped. Dead silence. Then it started again. Louder now. Closer. Not from the radio, from the hallway behind us. We turned as one. The hallway was empty, but the voice continued. Whispered Arabic echoing off the walls. Rivas's name. Over and over. A prayer. A chant. Who's there? Torres shouted, rifle up. No answer. The whispers faded like smoke. I checked my watch again. Still 12:07. Hadn't moved since noon. Torres watched a shadow slide across the wall beside him. He turned to see what was casting it. Nothing there. No body. No object. Just a shadow moving independently, gliding up the wall and across the ceiling before disappearing into a corner. He blinked hard, rubbed his eyes. Did you see that? See what? Mitchell asked. The shadow. It moved without... He stopped, shook his head. Nothing. Forget it. But I'd seen it too. Peripheral vision. There and gone. The sun started dropping toward the horizon. Orange light bled through the windows, painting everything the color of fire. I heard the whispers again. Rivas's name. Faint. Coming from upstairs. I climbed the stairs alone, rifle raised. The hallway stretched longer than it should. Dark at the far end, despite the sunlight outside. At the end, in the doorway of the last bedroom, something stood. A figure, human-shaped, dark, motionless. Identify yourself, I called out. No response. I moved forward, 5 steps, 10. The figure didn't move, didn't breathe, just stood there, watching. I was 3 feet away when it vanished. Not walked away, not turned, just gone, evaporated. The air where it had been was ice cold. My breath came out in fog. I stood in the empty doorway, heart hammering against my ribs. Downstairs, Torres was waiting for me. His face was hard, angry. You knew, he said. That elder warned us. You ignored him, and now we're stuck in this. I followed orders, I said. Your orders got the dog killed. What's next? Us? Mitchell stepped between us. We need to stay calm. Panic kills more soldiers than bullets. But Torres wasn't done. What aren't you telling us, Corporal? Why did that elder specifically warn you? Why did he look at you like he knew something? I didn't answer, couldn't answer. because he was right. The elder had looked at me, not the team, me, like he knew. I heard footsteps behind me, boot treads on stone, passing by. I spun around, empty hallway, but the sound continued, walking away, fading down the stairs, fading into nothing. Did anyone else hear that? I whispered. Rivas nodded slowly. Footsteps. We went downstairs together, checked every room. No one there. The burnt cloth smell had returned, stronger now, mixed with something else. Decay. Old meat. I covered my mouth, but the smell coated my throat. Rivas's bruises had spread. They covered both arms now, creeping up her neck. She'd stopped trying to hide them. "It's getting dark," she said quietly. Through the window, I saw the sun touching the horizon. The village square was empty. No bonfire tonight. No elder. Just shadows growing longer. Torres checked the door locks. Mitchell positioned himself at the window, saw ready. Rivas sat with her back against the wall, clutching her rifle like a lifeline. I checked my watch. 12:07 a.m. It had never moved. The sun disappeared, and something in the house woke up. I didn't remember falling asleep. One moment I was staring at the door, rifle across my knees. The next, I was standing in my bedroom back home, Virginia. Our house in Norfolk, cream-colored walls, wedding photo on the dresser. Everything exactly as I'd left it. My wife sat on the edge of our bed, back to me, long brown hair falling past her shoulders. She wore the blue nightgown I'd bought her before deployment. "Sarah?" My voice sounded wrong, distant, echo in my own ears. She didn't turn. "Sarah, I'm home." Still nothing. I moved closer. The floorboards didn't creak. My boots made no sound. I reached out to touch her shoulder. Her skin was ice cold, frozen meat. My fingers recoiled. "Sarah?" She started to turn, but wrong. Her body stayed facing away. Only her head moved. Rotating, slowly, impossibly, 180 degrees. Her face appeared, skin gray, eyes solid black voids, mouth opening too wide. "You left us," she whispered. Her voice came from somewhere deep, underwater. "You left us and you never came back." I jerked awake, gasping, drenched in sweat despite the cold. My hands shook so hard I nearly dropped my rifle. The farmhouse was dark, silent. I checked my watch. The glow-in-the-dark hands read 12:07. Always 12:07. I stood on shaking legs, moved through the kitchen. Every clock had stopped. The wall clock, Rivas's backup watch on the table, Mitchell's chronograph. All frozen at exactly 12:07 a.m. Upstairs, I heard Rivas talking in her sleep. Arabic, fast, urgent. I climbed the stairs, found her curled on the floor of the bedroom, still unconscious. The words poured out of her mouth in a steady stream, fluent, native speaker Arabic. But Rivas didn't speak Arabic. She'd told me once. Her parents were from Mexico, Spanish only. I shook her shoulder. "Rivas, wake up." Her eyes snapped open, normal, brown, terrified. "What did I say?" she whispered. I didn't answer, couldn't, because I'd understood one word she'd spoken. My name. I went back downstairs. Torres was on watch, sitting rigid by the window. Mitchell had his SAW pointed at the hallway, finger near the trigger. "Anything?" I asked. "Footsteps," Torres said. "Every few minutes, passing by upstairs. But when I check, nothing. I felt it before I saw it. Cold fingers wrapped around my forearm. Skeletal. Freezing. The touch burned like frostbite. I jerked away, spun. Nothing there. But red marks bloomed on my skin where the fingers had been. 5 perfect impressions. like a handprint burned into my flesh. "What the hell?" Mitchell stared. I didn't answer. Couldn't speak. My throat was closed. Then the scream came. A woman's shriek. Rage and grief and pain all twisted together. It came from the hallway, moving fast. A black shadow rushed past me, formless and screaming. The sound tore through my skull like broken glass. I dropped to my knees, hands over my ears. Torres and Mitchell burst from their positions, weapons up. "Contact?" Mitchell shouted. "I don't know." Torres swept the hallway with his rifle. "I don't know what that was." The scream faded, but my ears still rang. My hands still shook. Rivas appeared at the top of the stairs, face white. I heard it. We all heard it. Mitchell's rational mask was cracking. Auditory hallucination, mass hysteria. There's a psychological term for a plate flew off the kitchen counter. Not fell, flew. It crossed 10 feet of air and smashed against the wall beside Mitchell's head. He flinched, and I saw his hands trembling on his weapon. Another plate, then a cup, a pot, all flying at me specifically. I dodged, ducked. A knife embedded in the doorframe inches from my skull. "Get out!" Torres yelled. "We leave now." "It's dark," Rivas said. "We can't navigate in the dark. We'll hit an IED, get ambushed. We're getting killed here." I stood, tried to think, tried to plan, but my mind kept going back to the dream. Sarah's face turning, her voice. "You left us." "We wait for dawn," firmly I said. Torres stared at me. "You're going to get us killed." Maybe, probably. But dawn was only 3 hours away. 3 hours. We could survive 3 hours. Rivas's watch still read 12:07. Time wasn't moving, and something in the darkness was getting closer. 4 a.m. Still dark, still 12:07 on every clock. I stood at the window, staring at the village square. My eyes burned. My body felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Sleep wasn't an option anymore. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Sarah's face turning. Then I saw the light, orange, flickering, a bonfire burning in the center of the square. At 4 in the morning. "Torres," I whispered. "You see that?" He moved beside me. "Fire. Someone lit a fire." "Who?" "Could be insurgents, signal fire, but we both knew it wasn't." I grabbed my rifle. "I'm going out there." "Alone?" Torres stared at me. "That's suicide. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, you extract. Leave me." Mitchell stepped forward. "Corporal, that's an order." I moved to the door. My hands were steady now. Strange, the shaking had stopped. Maybe I'd gone past fear into something else. Numbness, acceptance. I stepped outside. The air was wrong, too still, too cold. My breath came out in thick fog. The smell hit me immediately. Burnt wood, yes, but underneath it, something chemical, like plastic melting, like flesh. I walked toward the bonfire. My boots crunched on gravel. Each step echoed too loud in the silence. The elder sat by the fire, same man from the entrance, gray beard, ash-stained clothes. He didn't look surprised. He looked like he'd been waiting. "You came," he said in English, broken but clear. I lowered my rifle slightly. "What is this?" "Sit." He gestured to a spot across from him. I didn't sit. "My team is dying. What's happening to us?" The elder poked the fire with a stick. Embers rose into the dark sky. "You ignored my warning. We had orders." "Orders, bitter." He laughed. Bitter sound. "Men always have orders. Al-Karina does not care about orders." The elder's face was orange in the firelight. Deep lines. Eyes that had seen too much. "She lived here," he said. 1920s. Before the wars. Before everything. She was wrong. From birth. The village knew. They saw her eyes, black like holes. But her father was powerful, rich. He protected her. I listened, said nothing. She married, had a child, a son. The elder's voice dropped. They found her one night, in the farmhouse where you sleep now. She had killed the boy, cut his throat, drained his blood into bowls. Black magic ritual, trying to summon something. Something old. My stomach turned. The villagers came with fire. They dragged her outside. She laughed. Even when they doused her in oil, even when they lit the match. She laughed and screamed a curse. He looked at me. She cursed this land, anyone who lives here, anyone who ignores warnings, anyone who carries guilt. She takes them, makes them kill themselves, just like she did. Why us? My voice came out hoarse. The elder pointed at me with the stick. You ignored my warning. That opened the door. But she hunts specific prey. Those who carry shame. Something you left behind. Something you abandoned. Sarah, my wife, alone in Virginia while I kept re-enlisting, kept leaving. And the woman soldier, the elder continued. She left her child, yes? I see it in her eyes. Guilt. Al-Karina smells guilt like blood and water. A crow struck the window of the farmhouse behind me. Then another. I turned. 5 more birds flew straight into the glass at full speed. Suicide dives. Their bodies fell like rain. The elder stood. She is waking, fully. You must leave now, before sunrise. She will take the woman first, force her to kill herself. Then the others. Then you. How do we stop it? You don't. He kicked dirt over the fire. Only I can push her back, but only for a moment. Enough for you to run. The fire died. Darkness swallowed us. From the farmhouse, I heard Riva scream. I ran, rifle bouncing against my chest, heart hammering. The distance between the square and the farmhouse should have been 50 meters. I ran for 2 minutes straight and didn't get closer. The building stretched away from me like taffy. Impossible. Physics didn't work like this. I stopped, gasped for air, turned around. The elder was gone. The bonfire was gone, only darkness behind me. I started walking. Slowly. 1 step, 2 steps. The farmhouse appeared in front of me instantly, like I'd teleported. I crashed through the door. Torres was in the hallway, spinning in circles. I can't find her room. I keep passing the same door. The hallway looped. I saw it now. Torres ran forward, past a door with a crack in the frame. Ran 10 more steps, past the same door again. Impossible geometry. "Stop moving!" Mitchell shouted from the stairs. "You're going in circles!" Torres froze. Sweat poured down his face. What's happening to us? Riva sat in the kitchen, back against the wall. Her eyes were open, staring at nothing. I knelt beside her. Rivas, talk to me. Her eyes flicked to mine. For a moment, just a flash. They were solid black. Voids, empty, then normal again. Brown, terrified. "Something's inside me," she whispered. "I can feel it, moving, thinking. It's not me." Mitchell aimed his saw at her. "Step back, Corporal." "Lower your weapon," I said. "She's compromised." I said, "Lower it." Torres appeared beside us. Is she still her? The question hung in the air. Poison. Rivas looked at each of us. I'm still me. I'm still... Her head snapped to the side. Too fast. Inhuman. When she looked back, her face was different. Older. Twisted. A woman's voice came from her mouth. Guttural Arabic. Ancient and furious. Then her own voice returned. "Help me. Please." "We need to restrain her," Mitchell said, "before she hurts herself. Or us." "No." I stood between them and Rivas. We don't abandon our own. She's not ours anymore, Torres yelled. Look at her! Rivas's hands moved to her face, her own hands, but not her control. Her fingernails dug into her cheeks, dragging down. Blood welled up in the tracks. Stop! I grabbed her wrists. Her skin was ice cold. She fought me, strength that shouldn't exist. She threw me back into the wall. My head cracked against stone. Stars exploded in my vision. Mitchell kept his weapon trained on her. One more move and I drop you. You won't, I gasped. That's our teammate. That's not her. A chair launched across the room, not thrown, launched. It flew at me like a missile. I ducked. It exploded against the wall behind me, wood splinters raining down. A plate, a knife, a metal tray, all flying at me, spinning through the air with impossible speed. It's targeting you, Torres shouted. Why is it targeting you? I didn't know, didn't understand. A knife buried itself in the doorframe inches from my face. I felt the wind as it passed. Everybody out, I ordered. Now! We ran for the door, but it slammed shut before we reached it. Locked. I grabbed the handle, burning hot. My palm sizzled. The smell of cooking meat. I jerked back, stared at my blistered hand. Torres tried the windows, sealed, like they'd been welded shut. We're trapped, Mitchell said quietly. Riva stood in the center of the kitchen, not moving. Her eyes were black again, completely black. She tilted her head at an angle that was wrong, bird-like, predatory. Then multiple crows hit the window simultaneously, 10 of them, 20. A black wave of suicide birds smashing into the glass over and over. The window cracked, spiderweb fractures spreading. The burnt flesh smell filled the room, so thick I could taste it. Rot, decay, old death. Time stretched. The hallway behind Rivas extended into impossible distance. The walls breathed, in and out, like lungs. Mitchell's hands shook on his weapon. This isn't real. This can't be real. But it was. Rivas's mouth opened. The woman's voice came out, speaking my name now. Over and over, but wrong, backwards, like a recording played in reverse. She knows you, Torres whispered. Why does she know your name? I had no answer. The walls started bleeding. Not paint, not rust. Blood, real blood, seeping from the cracks between stones, running down in thin rivers. And in the corner of the room, something began to materialize. A figure, black, burnt, holding something small in her arms. Rivas's eyes rolled back until only whites showed. Her body went rigid. Then her eyes returned, but they weren't hers anymore. Solid black, bottomless. When she spoke, the voice was a woman's, old, furious. It clawed its way out of Rivas's throat like broken glass. Arabic words, fast, guttural, ancient dialect that sounded like curse and prayer twisted together. Her hands moved to her face again, but this time she didn't stop. Her fingernails dug deep into her cheeks and pulled down. Skin tore. Blood ran down her jaw in thick streams. She was destroying her own face. Rivas! I lunged forward. Torres grabbed my arm. That's not her anymore. Burn marks appeared on Rivas's wrists, red, blistering, spreading up her forearms like someone was holding hot iron to her skin. The flesh bubbled, blackened. The smell of cooking meat mixed with the burnt cloth stench. Then her neck, burn marks circling her throat like a noose. Her skin cracked and peeled. She wasn't screaming, wasn't making any sound, just standing there while her body destroyed itself. The figure in the corner became solid, a woman, or what used to be a woman. Charred skin hanging in strips, white bone showing through. Empty eye sockets filled with black void. Long hair, somehow untouched by fire, hanging to her shoulders. She held a bundle in her arms, small, wrapped in burnt cloth, child-sized. The smell hit me like a physical force, burning flesh, old fire, death that had rotted for decades. I gagged. Mitchell vomited against the wall. The woman stepped forward. Her feet made no sound. She glided across the floor like smoke. She looked at me, and I felt it. Her grief, her rage, her agony. All of it slammed into my chest like a sledgehammer. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. It wasn't my emotion, but it filled me completely. Overwhelming, drowning. I saw flashes, not my memories, hers. Villagers with torches, hands grabbing her. Oil poured over her skin. A match struck, flames erupting, her body burning, her screaming. The child in her arms already dead, throat cut, blood everywhere. She'd killed him herself, for power, for something dark and old. And they'd killed her for it. But she hadn't died. Not really. She'd stayed, trapped, hunting. I gasped, and the vision broke. Blood appeared on the wall behind Rivas, seeping from nowhere. It wrote letters, Arabic script, dripping down in red streams. Mitchell translated, voice shaking so hard I barely understood. It says, "She is mine." Torres backed toward the door. "We need the elder, now." But the elder was already there, standing in the doorway. I hadn't seen him enter. He held burning sage in one hand and a worn Quran in the other. "Hold her down," he commanded. Torres and I grabbed Rivas. She fought with inhuman strength, her body twisted, bones cracked. She threw Torres across the room. He hit the wall hard, didn't get up. I held her arms. Her skin burned my hands. My palms blistered, but I didn't let go. The elder began reciting, Quranic verses I didn't understand. Fast, rhythmic. His voice filled the room. Rivas thrashed. Her eyes flicked between black and brown. Two voices came from her mouth, her own, screaming for help, and the woman's, shrieking in rage. The burnt woman moved closer to the elder, raised her hands. I felt claws rake across my chest, invisible but real. My uniform tore, blood soaked through. 3 deep cuts from collarbone to stomach. Pain exploded, white hot. I fell to my knees but didn't release Rivas. Mitchell grabbed her legs. His face was white. Blood ran from his nose. "Keep holding her." The elder's voice grew louder. The words came faster. The sage smoke filled the room, thick, choking. The burnt woman shrieked, a sound that shattered the remaining window glass, that cracked the walls, that made my ears bleed. Rivas convulsed. Her body arched backward, every muscle locked. Foam appeared at her mouth. Then she went limp, completely limp. The burnt woman flickered, like a bad transmission. There, gone. There, gone. One final shriek, so loud I felt my skull vibrate. Then silence. The woman vanished. Rivas collapsed in my arms, breathing. Shallow, but breathing. The elder lowered his Quran. "It's not gone, only pushed back, temporarily expelled. You have maybe 1 hour, maybe less." "What?" Mitchell stood. "We banished it." "No." The elder's face was grim. "You cannot banish Al-Karina. She is bound to this place, to her curse. I only forced her away. She will return. And when she does," he looked at Rivas, "she will take her, force her to end herself. And then you." He pointed at me. "She has marked you now. Your blood fed her. You cannot escape." My chest burned. The claw marks were deep, still bleeding. "Leave," the elder said. "Now, carry her if you must, but leave this place before she comes back." Torres groaned, sat up. Blood ran from a cut on his forehead. "Can you walk?" I asked. "Yeah." I lifted Rivas. She weighed nothing. Mitchell grabbed our gear. Torres covered us with his rifle. We moved to the door. My watch still read 12:07, but when we stepped outside, the sun was setting. We'd lost an entire day. I keyed the radio. Viper 6, this is Reaper 2. Request immediate emergency extraction. 1 casualty. Medical evac required. Static. Viper 6, do you copy? More static. Then a voice, but not command. A woman's voice. Arabié-ud. I threw the handset down. Torres pointed west. Road's clear. We hoof it to the highway. Flag down a patrol. We moved fast. Riva slung over my shoulder. Her breathing was shallow, irregular. Blood from her torn face dripped onto my uniform. The village felt wrong, different. The buildings looked older, more decayed, like we'd jumped forward in time, or backward. Why hasn't anyone come? Mitchell asked. We've been here 2 days. Command should have sent a patrol. 1 day, I said. We arrived yesterday at dusk. Torres stopped walking. No, we've been here 2 nights, 2 days. Mitchell shook his head. 1 night, from yesterday to this morning. We stared at each other. Time was wrong here, broken. We'd all experienced different lengths, different moments. Riva stirred. Her eyes opened, brown, normal. Put me down, she said. You can't walk. I said, put me down. I lowered her carefully. She stood on shaking legs. Her face was a mess of blood and torn skin. The burn marks on her wrists had stopped spreading but hadn't healed. We need to get you to a hospital, I said. It's still inside me. Her voice was flat, dead. I can feel it, waiting. When it comes back. She looked at me. Don't let it use me to hurt anyone. Promise me. We're getting you out. Promise me. Her hand moved to her sidearm. Because if you won't, I will. Torres stepped forward. You're not doing anything. We leave together. All of us. A crow landed on the farmhouse roof behind us. Then another. Then dozens. Hundreds. They covered the building in a black mass, watching us. Move, I ordered. Now. We ran. The crows took flight. All of them. A black cloud that blocked the sun. They dove, straight at us. I covered my head, felt claws scrape my scalp, beaks tearing at my uniform. Blood ran down my face. Mitchell fired his SAW into the air. The sound was deafening. The crows scattered, reformed, dove again. The gate, Torres pointed. We ran through the village entrance. The moment we crossed the threshold, the crows stopped. They circled above us but didn't follow. Like an invisible wall held them back. We collapsed on the road outside, bleeding. Rivas was unconscious again, pulse weak. I looked back at the village. The crows had landed, covering every surface, watching. Then I saw her, the burnt woman, standing in the center of the square, holding her child, staring at me. Even from this distance, I felt her rage. A convoy appeared on the highway. U.S. Army. 2 Humvees and a supply truck. We flagged them down. A lieutenant jumped out, young, maybe 25. His eyes went wide when he saw us. What happened? Ambush, I lied. Insurgents. We need medical evac for our casualty. He didn't ask questions, got on his radio. Within 10 minutes, a Blackhawk touched down on the road. Medics loaded Rivas onto a stretcher, started an IV, checked her vitals. What did this to her? One asked. I had no answer. Torres, Mitchell, and I climbed aboard. The helicopter lifted off. I watched the village shrink below us. The crows were still there, still watching. The burnt woman stood in the square, growing smaller, but I felt her eyes on me. The medic examined my chest wounds. These are deep. What caused them? Shrapnel, I said. He didn't believe me, but he bandaged them anyway. Rivas opened her eyes, looked at me. Her lips moved. No sound, but I could read them. It followed us. I looked at my watch, still frozen, 12:07. The Black Hawk flew east toward Fallujah, toward the base, toward safety. But safety felt very far away. Torres sat across from me. "Why were you spared, Corporal?" I didn't answer. Because I wasn't spared. The burnt woman had marked me, fed on my blood. I felt her in the back of my mind now, waiting. And Rivas, she was still in there, fighting, but losing. The helicopter cut through the sky. My chest burned. And somewhere behind us, in a village that didn't exist on any map, Al-Karina waited. Landstuhl, Germany, military hospital. Sterile white walls, antiseptic smell that burned my nose. I'd been cleared. The chest wounds had healed, scars now. 3 deep lines. The doctors had no explanation for the pattern. Too precise, too clean. My watch still read 12:07. I'd tried changing the battery, tried getting a new one. Every watch I touched stopped at 12:07. I walked down the corridor to Rivas's room, room 217, end of the hall. She'd been unconscious since the evac, 2 weeks. Doctors found nothing wrong, no brain damage, no trauma. Her body just wouldn't wake up. I entered quietly. She lay in the bed, pale as the sheets. IVs dripped saline into her veins. Monitors beeped steadily. Her daughter's photo sat on the bedside table, worn, creased. A little girl who didn't know if her mother would ever wake up. I sat in the chair beside the bed. "I'm sorry," I whispered. I should have listened to the elder. I should have turned back. Her chest rose and fell, steady, mechanical. I stared at her arm lying on top of the blanket, pale, unmarked. Then I saw it. A bruise. Small, circular, dark purple, appearing beneath her skin like ink spreading through water. Whew. My breath caught. Another bruise, then another. They bloomed in real time, multiplying. Arms, neck, face, dozens of them, hundreds, just like in the farmhouse. My own forearm itched. I rolled up my sleeve. Small circular bruises dotted my skin. Fresh, dark. I hadn't had them this morning. I checked my watch. 12:07 p.m. The hospital lights flickered. Rivas's lips moved. Her eyes were still closed, but her mouth formed words. Silent, Arabic. The heart monitor flatlined. 2 seconds of endless tone, then resumed. Normal rhythm. A nurse rushed in. "Sir, you need to leave." I stood, backed toward the door. My legs felt weak. Rivas's lips kept moving, speaking words I couldn't hear. Her bruises continued spreading. I stepped into the hallway. Cold air touched the back of my neck. Fingers, skeletal, freezing. I didn't turn around. I already knew what was there. The burnt cloth smell filled the corridor. Thick, choking. I walked faster, not running, not yet, but faster. The smell followed. Other patients' doors opened as I passed. Empty rooms, dark inside. But I felt eyes watching from the darkness. The hallway stretched, longer than it should be. Impossible geometry. Just like the farmhouse. I kept walking. My chest burned. The scars felt hot, like fresh wounds. Behind me, I heard footsteps. Bare feet on tile. Slow, deliberate. Getting closer. I reached the elevator, hit the button. Once, twice, 3 times. The smell was right behind me now. The elevator dinged. Doors opened. I stepped inside, turned. The hallway was empty, but on the wall across from me, written in condensation that shouldn't exist, 12:07. The doors closed. I rode down in silence. My watch ticked. Still 12:07. It would always be 12:07. And somewhere, in a village that didn't exist, in a hospital room in Germany, in the back of my mind, Al-Karina waited. She had all the time in the world, and I had already started forgetting what was real.